Goeiedag en hartlik welkom by hierdie episode van Agri Monitor. Ek is Elvira Hating en ek kuier oudergewoonte Dinsdae saam met julle in hierdie landbouprogram. Nou in van dese week se Agri Monitor kyk ons dan nou eers na 'n video deur minister Calle Schlettwein. Nou hy is die minister van Landbou, Water en Grondhervorming. Hy het dan nou hierdie toespraak gelewer by die afgelope ministeriële, beplanning en strategiese jaarvergadering wat op Swakopmund gehou is. Dan ook daarna kyk ons na 'n video deur die Wêreldvoedselorganisasie. Nou dit kom nadat hulle verlede week al jongste hongersnood verslag uitgereik het. Nou ja, ook dan nou nie sulke goeie nuus nie. Hier volgens is dit die 4de agtereenvolgende jaar wat die syfers van mense wat akute hongersnood ervaar toegeneem het wêreldwyd. Dankie dat julle saam met ons kuier. Ons hoop julle geniet dit.
Funding partly in the risk aspects that are related to the potato production is also
The latest figures on the global acute food insecurity situation paint a very concerning picture. And in 2022, this means that over a quarter of a billion people, 258 million people, were in a situation of acute food insecurity. What we see is that even in situations characterized by conflict and violence, it's really this interplay of issues and overlapping of the impacts of violence on top of economic challenges, not least driven by sort of the ripple effects from the COVID-19 pandemic that the world has been feeling. And then, of course, climate challenges, the climate crisis and everything that that means in terms of extreme weather events, whether that's extreme temperatures, whether that's issues related to water scarcity, to drought, or whether that's issues even related to flooding, excessive water in certain places. Given that Ukraine and also the Russian Federation play such a significant role in terms of global food systems when it comes to the production of a series of key food commodities or the production of key agricultural inputs such as fertilizer. Any limitations on ability to produce or export impacts prices globally, has impacted prices globally. For us, there are a series of countries included in this report who are import-dependent low-income countries, and so obviously as prices have changed, prices have increased, those countries have been adversely affected. We have evidence through years and decades of intervention of what is needed at the household level to prevent famine, what is needed at the household level in order to address acute food insecurity, such as is documented by this report. But it needs to be scaled and it needs to be funded. And time-sensitive agricultural interventions are proven to be the most cost-effective way to respond to acute food insecurity for the vast majority of the people that are covered by this report. The challenge that we have is the disequilibrium, the mismatch that exists between the amount of money that's given, what that funding is spent on, and the types of interventions that are required to make a change. So globally, we know that only 4% of all of the funding that goes to food security interventions in food crisis contexts, in the contexts that are covered by this report, only 4% goes to time-sensitive agricultural interventions. That's something that needs to change if we really want to move the needle on the worsening trend in these numbers that exist.
Did you know you can buy a new or second-hand vehicle, such as light delivery vans, trailers, small trucks and tractors for agricultural use? The repayment period for these vehicles ranges between 5 and 10 years. Contact your nearest AgriBank branch or visit our website at www.agribank.com.na for more information about this loan product. You can also visit us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and YouTube. AgriBank, your all-season bank.
The first one is the authorization of the northern communal areas, abattoirs and processing facilities to unlock market access for communal farmers. This equally implies acceleration of the complementarity value chain activities, quarantine facilities, feedlotting to promote optimal utilization of the slaughtering and processing infrastructure. We have a situation that in the northern areas, that is north of the red line, we have a similar livestock population than in the south. But the proceeds for the economy of the livestock sector are mainly coming from the south. And the reason is not that we have bad farmers there, not that we have bad cattle there, not that we have bad grazing there. The reason is we have got bad marketing access for farmers. It's difficult for farmers to sell their cattle to best paying markets. That needs to be corrected. Market access and the infrastructure that enables farmers to bring slaughter-ready cattle that are fit for consumption in whatever market we can sell it to must be established and brought about. It is not that difficult. We have the commodity-based trade concept, which is accepted by the World Animal Health Association. What comes out of that is tradable internationally for very good prices. You must implement it. Secondly, this year is again a drought year, with crop failures or low harvests experiencing across all cropping regions. Even our green schemes, I understand, have not optimal yields this year because of too little rain, and when they needed to irrigate, there were power failures, and then it rained too much, So the spread of water on the crop was not optimal. We have below optimal yields. The reoccurring state of affairs raised the urgent responsive actions to address human and livestock needs. We must therefore mobilize and deploy our drought relief measures and distribution networks to mitigate the devastating impacts on producers. The reoccurrence of drought also underscores the need for urgent implementation of drought preparedness, research, measures such as the expanded activities in harvesting of rain, floodwaters for better adaptation to resilience in future. Resources ring-fenced for this purpose must be put to immediate use. We have a big program that is livestock farming for resilience, or to induce resilience into livestock farming. It is crucial, and we must move away from a system that taught us a very hard lesson, the last drought. The last severe drought of 2019 caused that half of our livestock herd perished, died, gone, without getting anything for it. Now that risk is too high. That is everything except resilient farming systems. So we must move away from this open system where our only resilience, and with due respect to the priest, is praying for rain. Doesn't work like that. You know. The prayers must also include to be innovative, to help ourselves to bring about resilience. We must immediately commence with the critical feasibility study and timely planning and budgeting in the next financial year on the basis of assessed feasibilities. This is in specific reference to the Nakatal Dam irrigation project. Nakatal is a huge dam. To give you an indication how big it is, the Ifunja that comes annually down is about a tenth of the dam's volume. So 10 full Ifunjas will fill the dam. And imagine if you stand there and the water comes past, you think this is huge water. It will fill the Nakatal Dam in 5 minutes. No, it takes a long time. So Nakatal Dam is a big dam, and therefore a very reliable source for irrigation. We must finalize the feasibility study. We must consult with the community so that we have consensus with the community how to go about it, how would the community benefit, how would we have appropriate yields, and how do we attain our goals of food self-sufficiency and economic viability of the project. Supporting the reform and sustainability of Meatco as an anchor for market access and price stabilizer for all livestock producers, small and large, in both communal and commercial areas, is crucial. We are working closely with Treasury and stakeholders for a sustainable future of Meatco and its value creation proposition for the livestock sector. Now let me share with you some of the details that we have discussed for now. Meatco in the past had the advantage of being a de facto monopoly. It traded as a single entity with all the meat that was available, both north and south of the cordon fence. But this situation has changed drastically. Meatco withdrew from the north, and in the south, market forces made it possible for private-owned abattoirs and beef market entities to enter the market. The result was that Meatco's market share fell drastically from almost 100% to now 25%, 30%, thereabout. And that drastic market share loss had a very severe impact on Meatco's bottom line. The statistics show that one of the privately owned entities, Beef Corp, now already is slaughtering more cattle than Meatco. And it has a very nasty spiral to the bottom effect. Because of financial difficulties, Meatco tried to lift the price because that was seen as an hampering block for delivering cattle to Meatco. But then they found their cash flow became very tight and they couldn't pay in time. So in spite of offering high prices, farmers didn't have trust in it because they got their payment late. And that resulted into severe financial difficulties experienced by Meatco. But I believe we must be very clear that it has not so much to do with who owns Meatco. Our public interest, or the public interest in Meatco, is to make livestock farming profitable in the country. And if Meatco is needed for that, and we believe it is, then we must pursue that public interest. We must engage and develop strategies that is possible. Livestock sector is the mainstay of agriculture still. In areas and people farming in it. So Meatco's financial difficulties must be solved. Meatco must be restructured in a way that it becomes back into a profitable situation. And there will be, as I indicated in our annual staff meeting, there will be some tough decisions to be made. The current structure is not fit for purpose. It is too expensive. But that does not say that Meatco is not important. And I think the debate that I expect from you here is to come up with a proposal that would be our contribution of how Meatco can be saved and brought back to give effect to the public interest that we have. That is why we have written an act, the Meatco Act. In that act, we make clear what the public intent is, the public interest in the marketing of beef. So, Meatco is one of these anchor institutions that are very
Wat van dese week se veilings betref, op 9 Mei hou Agri veilings op Reeuwbot en Okakarara, Karoo Oes is met 'n veiling op Otchinene en die NLA met 'n veiling op Mariental. Op 10 Mei is Agra met 'n veiling op Aranos, Blouberg met 'n veiling op Grootfontein, die NLA met 'n veiling op Kois en die WLA met 'n grootveeveiling op Gobabis. Op 10 Mei is Agra met veilings op Otjiwarongo en Mariental, die NLA met 'n veiling op Keetmanshoop en die WLA met 'n grootveeveiling in Windhoek. Op 12 Mei is Blouberg met 'n veiling op Otawie, Karoo Oes met 'n veiling op Gobabis en die NLA met 'n veiling op Mariental. Nou ja, van dese week se dagboek lyk dan soos volg. Op 12 Mei onthou van die baie gewilde hartebeesloop veiling wat op die plaas Hartebeesloop in die Stampriet omgewing plaasvind. Dan ook van 24 tot 26 Mei hou Grootfontein Skouvereniging 'n Agri Extra dae dan nou vir landbouers. En kyk ook dan nou in ons koerante in die Agri Monitor bylaag op die agterblad is 'n hele program uiteengesit van wat die Byevereniging van Namibië in die volgende paar dae of weke dan nou eerder beplan. Nou dit draai alles rondom Wêrelddag vir bye en verskeie interessante plaaslike gebeurtenisse wat dan nou ook aangebied word. Nou ja, wat van dese week se vleis- en veilingpryse betref, slagpryse dan nou eintlik onveranderd. Veilingpryse toon moontlik 'n klein bietjie herstel. Dit is nou met uitsondering van vroulike diere wat pryse dan nou eintlik maar dieselfde gebly het. Tollies dan nou 'n beter gemiddelde prys van $30.35 die afgelope week, verse $27.28, ook 'n beter prys die afgelope week, stoorosse gemiddelde prys van $26.73 per kilogram die afgelope week, stoorverse se pryse wat dan nou nie veel verbeter het nie op $26.58 per kilogram die afgelope week, slagosse $28.59 gemiddeld per kilogram, slagverse $26.17 per kilogram, koeie, maar tot en met vet, die prys dan nou ook nie, ook 'n bietjie af eintlik, $19.87 tot $27.31 per kilogram. Dit lyk of die vetkoeie se pryse dan nou verbeter het. Slagbulle, 'n gemiddelde prys van $24.89 per kilogram. Koeie met kalwers $10.052. Dis nou vir 'n koei met haar kalf. Slagskape, dorper $30.28 per kilogram gemiddeld oor die afgelope week. Vetsterte $30.51 per kilogram oor die afgelope week en bokke $1.018 per kop dan nou vir die afgelope week. Nou ja, weervoorspellers het dit eens dat hierdie komende naweek 'n bietjie koud gaan wees, veral vir boere in die suide van die land. Dit is dus belangrik dat almal kennis hiervan neem en hul kleinvee veral dan nou teen die weer beskerm. Volgende week, selfde plek, selfde tyd, maak ons weer so, sien jou dan.